Yes, please. So, we have learned, that at a point, this concept of stress, state of stress at a point, it is the state of stress means it consists of number of components, sigma x, sigma y, and tau xy, if it is a plane stress case, or even plane strain case, it is the same 3, because the other one is sigma z will be dependent. So, this stress of stress at a point, see, on different planes at the same point, it will be different, this set. And that we have changed by changing the orientation of the plane, and we have found out that there will be one direction in which the sigma, the normal stress will be maximum, and that direction is called principal direction. The plane on which uh, that stress acts is called principal stress. Similarly, there will be one direction on which shear stress will be maximum, and that plane is called maximum shear stress plane. We don't call it principal shear stress plane, we just call it maximum shear stress plane. Principal word we use only for normal stress. So, normal stress, and we have learnt now how to find out these quantities both analytically and graphically. So, graphically you have the Mohr circle method, and analytically you have got some formulae, sigma x dash, sigma y dash, maximum sigma 1, sigma 2, maximum minima plus angle tangent of 2 theta 1 you can find out, then you do half the theta 1. Now, in the process, the body is subjected to loads. When the body is subjected to loads, what happens? The body gets deformed. Its shape changes, its size changes, and obviously the body is getting stressed, and that we have found out. We know now something about the stresses, what goes on inside the body. But then the geometry of the body also changes, its shape and size changes. We call that the body has deformed. Now, we will try to see what is this deformation. So, today we will take up deformation of the body, or study of deformation. In general, any body, there is a 3-dimensional body. When the loads are applied, or shall I take only as a 2-dimensional to simplify the matter? Okay, let it be 2-dimensional. This is a 2-dimensional body. When loads are applied, it gets stressed. In the process, it also gets deformed. What is the meaning of deformation? Deformation means this body now will take up a new position, something like this. Now, the deformation should be such that it does not create any voids in the body. If the original body is continuous body, then after deformation, after the loads are applied, this also should remain. Okay, so we are considering that the deformation will not create any voids, otherwise there will be problem. So, all the displacements of any point are all single point, what is called single valued. Otherwise, what will happen? If there is a gap created, then the same point will have two displacement, gap or crack. If there is a crack or gap opening, then the same point will undergo two displacement. We do not want that kind of deformation. So, every displacement component, any point which has got displacement, it is having a single. So, what is, so let us say originally there is a point P and Q. Yes. This is the original before the loads are applied, and after the loads are applied, this point moves to P dash and Q dash. So in the dotted line is this. This PQ is mapped into this after the deformation has taken place. So what is this? This PQ will undergo a change in length first of all. It will undergo and it will also undergo some amount of angular change. It will not remain parallel to each other. But that we are assuming that this angle by which it rotates is small. If the deformation or if the deformation of the body is restricted to be, because we are considering what did I say in the beginning? Small deflection theory. All deflections are small. All deformations are. It is not that you are it is not a rubber body. It is something. So here displacements are all small. Therefore, this angular rotation of PQ will be very, very small. So we define a quantity which is a measure of deformation, and that quantity is called strain, measure of deformation. So because the shape changes, so deformation has to be measured by some quantity, we call it strain, and strain will be in general, I will just give you a very rough definition, it will be P dash Q dash minus PQ but this will be change in length per unit length. So P dash Q dash minus PQ is change in length. Let us assume that angle by which it has rotated is very small. So cosine of theta will be equal to 1. So that will not make difference. So this is a change in length of PQ per unit length, and this gives you a measure of strain as far as the change in length is concerned. But then there is another, so this is one way by which we measure deformation. Now this we call longitudinal strain or normal strain. So this strain is called longitudinal or normal strain, because it is change in length per unit length. But you will also have, there is another kind of thing that takes place. If this is the original body, after loads are applied, the body takes a shape like this, and originally I had two lines which were at right angle. I had PQ and R. Originally I have marked out two lines which were, this let us say is delta x, this is delta y. Now obviously, kindly pay attention. Now this one, after the loads are applied, after the body has deformed, in the black line, when the body gets deformed, this will take a shape like this. Not only this will move, there will be also, there will be shift. It will not remain at the same point. Plus, there will be a change in angle. So this will become P dash, this will become Q dash, and this will become R dash. Call this angle is alpha. included angle. Here this angle is 90. This will not, P dash Q dash is not parallel to PQ. It so happens that I have drawn it, it will, it is inclined. So it has changed. So this kind of deformation also takes. That means the angle between two lines which were at right angle, that also changes. Not only the length of the any line changes, that is the longitudinal or normal strain. We have this kind and this kind of change, that is this change is physics you understand. This change is, that is 90 degrees minus alpha. This 90 degree is the original and then minus alpha. So what is remaining is this, and this one is denoted by another symbol. This is also another kind of strain, and we denote it by a symbol gamma, and this is change in right angle. And this strain, this is also a measure of, because this will be in radians. By the way, this is not 90 degree, this is pi by 2 minus alpha, so many radians. So this change in angle, we call it shear strain. Shear. So you have two kinds of strains. So that means there are two measures for deformation. One is normal strain, other one is shear strain. One is change in length per unit length, just either the lengthening of a small line, elongation or contraction of a line. So elongation or contraction, that will be one, and then change in right angle will be another. Now then positive and negative things you must know very clearly. We always say that anything, if the change is positive means the length increases, then it is increase in length, and negative it is a decrease in length. So this will be the sign convention. What about this angular change? Angular change, I will just give you a simple thumb rule. You always have 4 quadrants. So if your first quadrant, this is first, do we write like this 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is this. Okay. So if the first and third quadrant, if your lines are at right angle to each other, if there is a change, change is such that this reduces, this angle becomes less than 90, then that we will call positive. And then if you are in second and fourth, so what has happened? This 90 degree has increased. This 90 degree has increased by certain amount, and that increase we will call it negative. So increase in 90 degree is negative, and decrease in 90 degree is positive. So shear strain will be measured by plus and minus depending upon whether there is increase or decrease. Now, I will draw now a simple diagram. Let us consider two-dimensional body. Okay, so this is your a small rectangular element in xy plane. This is origin, this distance is x, this plus this is delta x. Similarly, this one is y, this is delta y. So, you have an element of dx dy, and this is a part of a bigger body. The body is very big. I have drawn a small element in this. Okay, so you have taken a small element dx dy. Now, afterwards, this, now let us call this as A, B, C, D. Yes, how what we have called, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Let us say A moves to A dash, then B has moved to B dash, then D has moved to D dash. How? Where is D? D is here. D is here. So D has moved to D dash. So I am drawing those 4 points. A has moved to this point, B has moved to this, D has moved to this, and C has moved to, well, C dash, which looks like this. So this is C dash, this is B dash, this is A dash, and this is D dash. Okay. So this rectangular element which was there, now it has become, this is all small, dx dy is not large, they are all small quantities. The displacements also are small of the points. Okay, so A has moved to, that means this is the displacement vector of point A. This is the displacement vector of point B, displacement vector of point C, displacement vector of point D. These are the displacement. Let us for simplicity take the components of these into x and y. So this x and y component of this, A has moved, so let us call this as u, this component as v of A. A has moved by a vector, some displacement whose components are u and v. What about this? These are the two components of B. How much will be this? This one will be, see, this is B is at a distance delta x from A. So what will be B under, B? It will be u plus change in length of delta x. Delta x has to, so what it will be? So change in length along x direction is du by rate of change of u, and then the total change is du by dx into Is it okay? So from here to here will be u is means whatever is whatever A has undergone u plus, because this length is delta x dx, this length is dx, so it will be is this additional. It will not be simply u, but it will be u plus some additional quantity, and that additional quantity is this. Similarly, what about this? This will be v plus delta v by what? Delta v by, yes, we have moved only in x direction, so delta v by okay. Huh? No. No, B is lying in, AB is lying in x direction, AB. So that this displacement will be, this displacement, see after all AB undergoes, AB is moving. So AB has gone now, instead of this one, this now has become AB. So what is this? This is V plus dV by dx into this. Rate change of this. But V here it is U, here it is V. How does V changes with respect to x? How does V changes with respect to x into dx? Yes. Okay. Now same thing you try to do it here. You have come to d dash and you can do this. These are the two components of this displacement vector. So this is in y direction. It is V. Yes, V is here. This point has undergone a displacement of V. So anyway, it will be V plus the rate of change of V with respect to y into dy. What about the horizontal component? Horizontal component will be, yes, this one. It will be u, because this is u. How much is this? But u, rate of change of u with respect to y into dy. Is it okay? Anyway, you can also write down this, but I don't need it at the moment. I think this is enough. 3 points A, B, C. 3 points how they have moved. Sorry, A, B and D, because I need only change in length in 2 directions and also change in the angle, right angle. So I have to find out this, or this plus this. So this diagram is important. You do practice. Take an element, write down all the coordinates, simple. Because you will need some practice. Unless you are a genius, you can do it. So this is, so what are the original? So like this. So what is the original coordinate of this? This is x and y. This is x plus delta x, y. This is x, y plus delta y, and this one is x plus delta x into y plus delta y. Then you take that this undergoes a displacement which is u and v. A undergoes a displacement that is u and v, then what is happening to the remaining 3 points? You can please write down the displacements of all the other 3 points by taking these coordinates. That means the coordinates will change. These coordinates, how does they change, and what will be the new coordinates of these points? So this point has become like this. This point now it has, this will go, and so this one will be like this. This thing has gone, so I take here, yes, and then finally this thing is like this, something like this. So please write down the new coordinates of this. I have given you, because this one a dash is x plus u plus y plus v. What is this? It is x plus delta x plus what? Similarly, comma, y plus what? So that you will have to write down. Okay, so this is, you do the exercise. Okay. So 3 is there. Okay. And see my problems in the examination, the way I set question paper, they are mostly from physics or from fundamentals. So there will be, unless you have read the book, it will not be enough for you only to read the class notes. Okay. And we have already prescribed you a couple of books. You read from any book, it will be available. So the physics must be known to you. There will be some derivation, there will be some calculations also. In all the tutorials, you are supposed to bring your calculators and also a book, because book has been prescribed as textbook. So you must come now with a book with you in the classroom. When you come for the tutorial, all tutors are requiring that you should bring your book. Okay, so this is all right. Now, why did we do this? So this I have done. What was the? I am interested in finding out the expressions for linear strain. So, for example, point A. The strain at point A. What is the strain at point A? So, point A, what I have done? I have drawn 2 lines from A, and I have closed also, but this is not important. These 2 lines are not important, but this line and this line is important. So, what I have drawn? Parallel to x axis and y axis. So, at point A, I have drawn AB and AD, and then I would like to know what has happened to the changes in length of AB and AD. So, that will give you a measure of normal strain in x direction and y direction. And then I will also try to find out what has happened, what are these angles. So, if I take this and this, this is the angle by which it has reduced by 90 degree. So, that will give me a measure of shear strain, change in the right angle. So, I will try to find out this from this. So, please, so first strain, what is our, how do you define your strain? Epsilon x x direction at point A. Again, there is no concept of average strain over the entire element. You have to have strain at a point, just like stress at a point, strain at a point. So we are talking of point A. So what will be this? It will be epsilon x A dash B dash minus AB divided by AB, and of course in the limit, because strain is a small quantity, so I must take, it is not that any AB you take, any length of AB, all these quantities are small. So I will say here this has to be defined in limit as delta x tends to 0. So this is the definition of, yes, this is the definition of a normal strain in x direction from physics. This is the from physics of the problem. This will be the definition. Now what will be the limit? Sorry, because I have to superpose both. What is the matter? Okay. Yes, I can see it. Hmm. So it will be y. So it will be this one has A dash D dash minus AD divided by AD. What about the shear strain gamma xy? Shear strain will be again limit delta x tends to 0, delta y tends to 0, and then here I will write pi by 2, yes, original angle is pi by 2, this angle, this angle pi by 2 minus this angle, this angle, and this angle is d dash a dash b dash. So minus angle d dash a dash b dash. So this is the physics. Now all these quantities are small, displacements are small. Now strains, as we just now have seen, strains will need derivatives, derivative quantity, because once you are writing like this, that means change in length per unit length, derivative. So these derivatives are also small. Okay. So we are talking of small strains. I am not going to the basic definition, I can explain, but then right now you say, first of all, body deforms, but all the displacements are small quantities, and derivatives of the displacements are also small. Okay. What is the meaning of this? Derivatives are small. Once the derivatives are small means derivative square, derivative cube, etc. can be neglected compared to the first derivative. This is all is the meaning of this. Okay. So then next job is, so this is the physics, but then after all I must bring in some other quantity over here. Not that I should write A dash B dash AB. What is the quantity should I try to bring in? Displacement. All the displacement. Just now we have expressed the displacement of various points. So I would like to know now a relationship, what is called strain displacement relations. Strain and here we are doing 2D. two dimensional, plane stress or plane strain, xy plane. So, for example, epsilon x limit, yes, a dash b dash. What is a dash b dash? What is the length? Original length of AB was delta x, but then a dash b dash there must be some change. How much is the change? Delta u by rate of change of u with respect to x into delta x. So, this is a dash b dash. Is it okay? Minus AB, AB is delta x divided by delta x. And then this comes out to be so we get a relationship here. Yes, the strain, normal strain in x direction at point A is given by rate of change of u with respect to x, du by dx. If the displacement of that point is u, then it can be found out by taking du by dx along. Now, what about epsilon y? In the same way, it was a dash d dash here and minus ad. Ad is y, sorry, dy, ad is dy, and then this one is the change in dy. Dy must have changed, so it will be dy plus minus ad, which is dy, divided by this, and this gives me dv by dy. What about this? Hmm. 90° minus, yes please. Yes, this is interesting. So, I think you have to refer to the diagram here. Refer to the diagram. Yes, this is the diagram. I think I can find out directly this. This angle is how much? This is the total minus V. So, it is this. This is the divided by this angle is given by, if this angle is small, tangent theta is equal to theta. So, then if this angle is small, so this divided by the base, and base is delta x. So, it will be dV by dx. So, minus V divided by delta x. It is this angle, and what about this angle? This angle. Again, this is u and this distance is known, so this divided by y dy, or it is this minus u. So, u plus du by dx into dx minus u divided by dy. No, it is not du by dx, it is du by dy. This is y. See this figure. It is this quantity minus this quantity divided by the base. Okay, so u du by dy, u du by dy this, And so this is, and this comes out to be, if you take, this comes out to be so change in the right angle is this. So at any point you have got three strains, two normal strains and one shear strain, and now you also know the relationship between strain and displacements. Next is what? What about analysis of strain? So strain at a point you can find out. Knowing the displacement, now you can compute strain at a point. Yes. Now at the same point, if you orient, just like we were orienting, changing the orientation of our rectangle over here, if you change this orientation about point A, change it to x dash, y dash. This is x dash, so you change it, take it incline. Make a rectangle in x dash, y dash. Make a rectangle in x double dash, y double dash. So this also, this element can also be rotated about point A, and we can get different sets of strains, and I mean three sets. I mean the set of three quantities, that is epsilon x dash, epsilon y dash, and gamma x dash, y dash we can get, and this will be different for different orientation. So again, similar to stress, these quantities also can be maxima or minima. So here also strains can also be maximum strain. For some orientation it will be maximum. So it so happens that for isotropic material, material is isotropic, then the direction in which stress is maximum, principal direction, the same turns out to be also for strain. The longitudinal strain or normal strain will be maximum in that direction. It will be minimum at right angle to each other. So in the perpendicular direction it will be minimum. What about shear strain? Shear strain also happens. Whatever maximum stress, shear stress, you get a direction. You get a direction for maximum shear stress at theta 1 dash. So please find out that, and it so happens that even the shear strain becomes, or it becomes maximum only in that. So the stress and strain have similar relationship. They will also occupy, or they will also have maxima and minima. So you also have the concept of principal normal strain, just like you had a principal normal stress, principal, and then the maximum shear strain. So we can find out from this 6. Principal strain, it is always associated with normal, and again you have the maximum shear strain. So whatever you have done for the stresses, the same thing will apply here also. That means what I can do, it is exactly same analysis. There is no change. Okay, strain and stress follow the same rule of transformation, provided this gamma xy is change in right angle. This we call it engineering shear strain. There is a reason for this. Now, if you take this component as engineering shear strain and then this set epsilon x, epsilon y and gamma xy, this set does not follow the rule of tensor. But what follows the rule of tensor is, so this is not a tensor. Tensor means it has to have a transformation rule, which I told you. And then, but then this one follows epsilon x, epsilon y and gamma xy by 2. If you make it half, then this becomes a tensor. So, mechanicians, that means those people who practice mechanics, they found a good way of dealing with the strain. They said, why don't you consider half of this and call it gamma xy tensor. That means tensorial component, TENSO, tensorial component of shear strain. In that case, once it becomes tensor, we denote it by, instead of tensorial, we then we'll write it like epsilon xy. We will call it epsilon xy. When we write like epsilon xy, then that means it is tensorial component. It is half of gamma. Okay. So, epsilon xy will become half of gamma xy, half of. Initially, so kindly pay attention because initially it is difficult to understand. You have to, so half of gamma xy, let us call that epsilon xy. Now, when I take this set, this will follow exactly the transformation rule that we have learned for sigma x, sigma y, tau xy. So, wherever tau xy is there, you kindly write down epsilon xy, that means half of gamma xy, and then you can have the same rule of transformation, and then do the maximum shear strain, maximum this, and maximum normal strain. So, here also you have Mohr circle for strains. Okay, so this is there in the book. Kindly read it. Construction is exactly. And then find out the maxima, okay, principal strains. Okay.